Hi, I'm Rose Zhang, and I am a 2023 LPGA rookie.
You could introduce yourself in Korean.
Oh no.
Can you give that a try?
Okay. We'll be trying this. I'm Chinese, by the way, like Chinese American, so don't judge me. 안녕하세요. 저는 장장미입니다. 장장미.
Rosie. Korean.
Yeah. 장장미. Because all my friends in Korean they call me Jangmi. I definitely love K-pop. Yep. So I got into it from an early age because of my brother, who's 10 years older than me. He's always been a huge Big Bang fan, so I've hopped onto that trend of Big Bang. And recently I've been getting into a lot of Korean hip hop and rap, so I love like singing raps. So PH1, Haeyeon's really good. I watched Show Me the Money and High School Rapper a lot, so I think there's a lot of good music that comes out of those shows. Also before I was super into Korean variety shows and Chinese variety shows, so Running Man has always been something that I've loved to watch. Yeah. Favorite member, I loved Gio, but I feel like there's so many characters that grown on me, but Kwang-soo's like one of the funniest people I've seen. I hate to say this, but he's just so clumsy. He's just kind of like the stupid character who always does so many weird things that you just find everything he does funny. I've watched too many. I've watched so many. I'm from Irvine, California, and the population there is either Chinese or Korean, majority-wise. So I've had a lot of exposure to Korean culture and watched a lot of great shows. I love weightlifting fairy Kim Bok-ju. And yeah, there's a lot of other dramas, but I like lighthearted comedy shows. Well, I started golf when I was 9, and it was my dad's friend who kind of forced my dad into golf because, you know, once you're in the same office and in the same department, coworkers and buddies like to go out and bet a little bit on the golf course. So he kind of forced my dad into it, and I was playing a lot of different sports at the time, so my dad wanted me to try it out, and I was just swinging the golf club in my backyard, and from there I fell in love with it, so we decided to start the sport. I was a pretty active kid, so I tried tennis, badminton, ping pong, very Asian sports as well, but I've really grown to love golf just because you're outdoors and you can, you know, play on your own, you can play with friends, and it was the first sport that I really got into tournaments. My first tournament ever was actually in a golf tournament, and from there I decided, hey, this is something that I would love to do. I have a competitive spirit, and I think that this sport is just something that's to my level and passion. I feel like no matter what I did, I really learned that you want to put your all into something and, you know, make it worthwhile while you're, you know, doing anything. So when I got into golf at first, I was pretty serious already. I was practicing really hard, and I loved the grind. So I never once thought about it becoming a career. But as I played more and more golf tournaments, as I achieved a lot more in my junior career, it kind of all came to me where, you know, I'd love to play collegiate golf. Even then, I wasn't thinking about tour life and playing it as a profession, but you know, one thing led to another, and I loved the sport, continued loving it. It took me to so many different places, and playing in a couple LPGA events as an amateur kind of instilled in me that I wanted this to be my lifestyle later on. So I never had a moment where I wanted to become a pro golfer, but it just accumulated. It wasn't weird, it felt very natural. Funny story, when I first started, I didn't know there were left-handed golf clubs. My dad already just put a right-handed 7-iron regular shaft in my hands, and I was probably like literally the size of the golf club. So, you know, I just whacked at it, and the motion felt very natural. I felt a little bit just because it was more internally. I really wanted to make the cut and just say that, hey, I made the cut on my first pro event. I was coming off of a really long week at Nationals for the NCAA championships, and I came into the event not really knowing how I would perform, and there was a lot more attention on me just because I was the newbie trying to figure out how to play this amazing golf course while, you know, all the attention was on me. So it was more so just trying to not make a fool out of myself and, you know, do what I need to do. I full on thought I was probably going to shoot 80 the first day, but it turned out well. I played a really solid round, and from there I just, you know, catapulted. I was very aware just because when I announced that I was going to turn professional, and shortly after I was going to Mizuho, there was a lot of blow up on media, and I didn't expect myself to land myself on ESPN News, the front page. So it definitely showed that the news was quite big, and it was much more hype than I'd anticipated. I enjoyed it, but at the same time, it was something that I didn't expect. It's hard. I feel like the awareness is the first step to understanding the whole dynamic of balancing the media lifestyle, the professional lifestyle, and being on the golf course. I will say that it's still taking a little bit of time to adjust because this is month 2 of me as a professional. But I will say that I've had a lot of people who are veterans on tour. They, you know, opened up their arms and said that if you have any questions, you can come to us. And I really appreciate that. So it gives me a lot of assurance that regardless of what happens or how to balance all these things, there's people ahead of me who've been there and done that. So, you know, when I am in a pickle or when I am in some hard spots in my life, I can go to them and ask them for some sort of advice that will help me get out of that situation. But biggest thing I've learned about tour golf is it's hard. It's a lifestyle. You have to balance yourself out. And even though it is something that a lot of professionals reiterate and talk about, it cannot be emphasized enough. Goals for the season is to keep playing, keep, you know, being happy on the golf course, staying healthy, and learning as much as I can about tour life and how these pros out here operate, and gain some friends while I'm at it. It makes me feel incredible and super warm to the heart. I feel that just having them just see me as a model and as a person that they can self-drive and self-improve on is something that I never want to take for granted. And I think I'm really honored to have this kind of platform. So for them to just keep doing what they're doing and for them to keep wanting to strive for improvement, I'm really honored to be kind of someone that they can look up to. That's a very good question. I don't think I have like a specific goal of how I want people to remember me as, but I wish that they kind of see me as someone that's still humble and passionate about their profession, and kind. Well, I haven't been in these LPGA ropes as much as other people, so I feel like I still have a lot of adventuring and venturing out to see how the LPGA does their events in general, but I would love... I'm trying to think. Oh, Yes, I'd love for every single event to have some kind of like smoothie bar. Either or maybe like a day where guaranteed Asian food is given to player dining.
LPGA Tour Korea YouTube 구독 좋아요.